I'm going to start this off with a quote from Henri Cartier-Bresson, which was, "Sharpness is a bourgeois concept." So, what does that mean? In a nutshell, it just means that sharpness is not what makes a picture good. There's a lot of things that go into what is a good picture. It's kind of there's no one way of thinking what a good picture is. If you're looking for advertising, typically in advertising, you're going to want something that's going to be sharp, color correct. Technically, again, I'll have to use air quotes here, perfect. But that doesn't mean it's a good picture for a bunch of other things. Like, does it have life to it? If there was motion blur, does it add to it? Does it take away from it? Sharpness is not the end all be all. I've had this conversation. It's stuck with me for a long time. I was working with somebody, helping out a friend, and we had some downtime, and we're talking about, I mentioned Cartier-Bresson, and he'd never heard of Cartier-Bresson, so I mentioned that was a shame and you should look him up. So, and if you haven't heard of him, then that is a shame also, and you should also look him up. He's again, you'll find out. So anyway, when I mentioned that, again, the quote that I started with, and that sharpness is not necessarily the only thing that makes a photograph good, and something not being sharp doesn't automatically rule it out from being good. He would say, well, maybe, do you think that because the cameras of the time were not as good, the lens is not as sharp as they are today, that if you were saying that today, or thinking that, would he think that today? Which basically just means that he didn't get what I was talking about at all, and I just changed the subject. So what I am talking about is, there's a picture is good if it gets across what it was intended to get across. Does it, in the advertising sense, does it make the product look realistic? Does it make the product look like something you'd want to buy? In a situation where it's a family, or children running around, let's put it like that, do they have to be sharp? They can be. Again, there's some great, and lots of great photographs that have very, very sharp images of children or people in general that are outstanding. But conversely, there's countless pictures of children that are blurred, or people that are blurred. Rule of thumb: does the picture make you feel something? If it does, it's successful. Again, does it being sharp enhance what the mood is about? Successful. Does the blur enhance what the mood is about? Successful. Say the blur doesn't necessarily add, but it also doesn't subtract. Do you feel something from that photograph? Successful. These are all different ways that a photograph can be successful. I mean, they encompass whether it's sharp or not sharp. Again, it all depends on the picture. There is no one way to define a successful photograph, other than, did the photograph achieve what you wanted that photograph to achieve? That's success. How it achieves it is completely, I guess it's, how it achieves it is relevant to it and nothing else. So I'm going to go through some examples of photographs I've taken. There's countless. Again, I can go through, if I wanted to scour the internet and show you a bunch of pictures from famous photographers who have pictures that are, again, unsharp / straight up blurry. And so you've got, for any number of reasons, the focus might have been off, the shutter speed might have been low, any number of things. But the pictures are incredible. And again, in many instances, they're famous. And it has nothing to do with them being sharp or unsharp. They were just great pictures. That's the point. So I'm going to go into my computer right now, and we're going to go through a few examples, and not only that. All right. Hopefully this helps. All right. So I'm going to start this with some images of mine, and then I'm going to be smart about this and end with some of the again, super famous images. So you're going to see mine, and then the last images you see are going to be historic, so it'll leave you on a higher note. And again, we'll be less about comparing mine to them, which is, again, definitely the smart way to do this for me. Okay, here, nothing in this is particularly tack sharp, but again, I think it gets the message across. Let's see, next. Again, another motion blur, some camera shake. Again, but the sense of this kid just ripping through the park, loving it. Again, I love this portrait of a carnival worker. Again, not super sharp, it's getting a bit late. And again, I happen to like it, it works. Some 3 people, for whatever reason, in Père Lachaise with luggage. I couldn't figure out why. Nothing's overly sharp. Again, it's not super out, but again, it's not critically sharp. Again, it just, as an image, it works. Here's an image of Marcus Miller. I took backstage right after a concert. Again, dark hallway, and again, not critically sharp, but it's got the mood, it's got the look, it works. And now I think we're going to go to something super famous, one of the more famous shots in history. This was taken during the D-Day landings in Normandy in 1944. Again, is this sharp? There's not a single sharp thing about this. Does it get the message across? Yes, it does. Again, if anything does, like this was not how he intended this image to come out, but it came out better than he intended. Like this screams about the intensity, again, just the hectic nature of what was going on. This is Garry Winogrand. Just to say, before that was Robert Capa. So this is Garry Winogrand. Again, probably like one of the greatest street photographers of all time, and was considered one of the great contemporary American photographers of the 20th century, definitely of the 60s and 70s. Anyway, that's enough of that. Nothing here is critically sharp, but again, it's just an amazing image, and one of his many famous images. And here we have possibly one of the most famous images of all time. This is Cartier-Bresson's behind, Gare Saint-Lazare, and this is the one that they used to, again, and basically was the one that illustrates the decisive moment. There's nothing in this that's particularly sharp. Again, it's great. There's so many things people go, oh my God, I would throw this out. Forget it. This is an amazing image. Again, it's one of the most famous images in history. So, again, if you're going to judge things on, are they critically sharp and are they technically perfect, you're going to miss out on an awful lot of amazing work. I hope that was helpful. If you have any comments or suggestions, just leave them below. And until next time, à la prochaine.